In 2026, the real flex on Instagram isn't having 10 million followers or a reel with millions of likes. It's having your DM inbox quietly generating millions of dollars from a solid sales funnel. Hi, my name is Ellie, and at Vista Social, we help thousands of brand marketers with practical, data-driven tools and proven workflows. Our platform lets you schedule content across every major network, automate your busy work, and analyze what's actually working so you can focus on creating content that drives real business results. In this video, I'm going to rank the most effective Instagram sales funnels from best to worst. Identify which one realistically 5 to 10x your conversion and eliminate the ones you should never rely on. Before we get into the ranking, let me tell you some interesting numbers about Instagram that will tell you why this video actually matters in the first place. Instagram now has over 2 billion monthly active users, but that's not an interesting number for us. The interesting number is this: 130 million of those users tap on a shopping tag every single month. 83% of Instagram users say they actively search for new brands and products on the platform. 90% of all Instagram accounts follow at least one business, and roughly 200 million users visit a business profile or tap a shopping post every single day. So Instagram is no longer just an entertainment app where people mindlessly scroll. It's become a full funnel sales channel. And this is why the right funnel structure matters more than ever. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today. We'll classify them in these categories: S, special tier, so best performing; A, excellent tier; B, above average; C, mediocre, mid performing; and D, poor, so just don't implement it. So let's go straight into it. First up, the DM me funnel. The DM me funnel is one of the highest converting ways to sell your Instagram right now, but very few creators and coaches actually run it properly end to end. So here's the concept. Instead of waiting for someone to come to you, your content is specifically designed to get people to send you a direct message. The call to action on every piece of your content should say, send me the word growth, or send me a message saying ready, so they can slide straight into your inbox. The moment that someone sends that DM, you enter the highest leverage space on Instagram, their inbox, where open rates commonly sit between 80 to 100%, and reply rates for personalized messages can hit 50 to 60%. Now, compare that to an email where the open rate is about 25% and a 2% click rate. And on top of that, the part that makes this funnel actually so powerful is this news, where Adam Missouri confirmed it publicly that sends per reach is now a core metric for how the algorithm distributes content. So now when your content triggers DM conversations, the algorithm reads that as high value engagement and pushes your content to more people. Now, how should the DM flow work once the message lands? First message, deliver exactly what you promised. A short PDF, a video link, a checklist, whatever the asset is. No gates, no extra steps, just deliver. The second message is to be sent a few hours later. This could be a qualifying question. Something like, are you running this for your own brand or for a client? This is where the funnel starts doing the real work. So you now know who you're talking to and what they actually need. The third message should be a clear single call to action that tells them exactly what to do next. It could be a link, a form, or your landing page. This is an S tier funnel without a doubt. It works across almost every business model, but it delivers the most results for coaches, consultants, e-commerce brands, and SaaS or agency businesses, because these businesses convert better when there's a brief, targeted conversation before the scale. You can see versions of this in action with high-ticket coaches and educational brands, like Laurel Portier, who talks about a $250,000 per year Instagram DM funnel for her coaching offers. Brandon Forbes, who breaks down a 1.2 million Instagram funnel case study built around DMs. For teams handling this at scale, this is where a tool like Vista Social becomes unfair leverage. You can track every DM me led in a unified inbox, tag conversations by campaign or offer, and see exactly which reels or posts are driving the most high intent DMs. The second funnel is the comment to DM automation funnel. It's one of the easiest funnels to move public engagement into private conversations. So here, you publish a reel or carousel about a specific problem or outcome your audience cares about, and at the end, you give clear instructions saying, drop the word checklist, in the comments and I'll send you the full version. And when someone types that keyword in the comments, they automatically receive a DM delivering exactly what you promised, followed by a short sentence that continues the conversation. The reason this funnel works so well is that commenting is a public, low friction action. People are already in the habit of commenting, and when hundreds of people comment the same keyword on your post, that signals to every new viewer that this content is worth paying attention to, which in turn drives more comments, more DMs, and more reach. And it becomes a compounding loop. The DM flow after the comment should follow the same structure as the DM me funnel. The first message should deliver the asset immediately. The second message should be a qualifying question that helps you understand who they are, and the third message should help them know what they need to do next. Where most brands go wrong with this funnel is the automation itself. They send long robotic messages that feel like a chat box wrote them and hides the actual value behind unnecessary steps and forces every person through the exact same sequence, regardless of context. Every message should be short enough to read without having to scroll, and simple branching logic should adapt the conversation based on responses. This funnel sits at tier A, as it works best for content creators selling courses and digital product, and for e-commerce brands running product drops, because they can turn spikes of engagement into a warm list of people that they can actually talk to. So for established creators and e-commerce brands, this sits at an A tier. For newer, low engagement accounts, it's more of a B tier support funnel until your volume increases. You can also see this in action with creators like Cardinal Mason, whose DM me to start style shows how powerful a simple comment to DM or DM-led funnel can be for turning attention into blocked calls and sales at scale. Inside Vista Social, you can connect your Instagram accounts, set up keyword-based DM triggers, and see performance by post, keyword, or client, so you know which hooks and CTAs are actually filling your inbox and which ones you should stop using. Funnel 3, high intent DM funnel. The high intent DM funnel is not about creating more conversations. It's about making sure the conversations already in your inbox actually turn into revenue instead of dying out after a few messages. Every week, your DMs probably contain questions about pricing, availability, features, or whether your offer is a fit. Most brands reply to these as casual comments. Random answers, no interest, no next step. The result is a lot of back and forth and almost no conversions. And this funnel fixes that by giving your team a clear, repeatable playbook for handling every inbound DM. This playbook has 3 steps. Step 1, acknowledge their message and set expectations. For example, let me help you figure out the right option. Can I ask you 2 quick things first? Step 2, ask 2 or 3 qualifying questions about who they are, what outcome they want, and what they're currently using. And step 3, based on those answers, route them to a specific outcome. A booked call, a demo, a proposal, a product page, or a lighter asset, or a waitlist if they're not entirely ready yet. Generally, the comment to DM funnel sits in the A tier because it turns viral engagement into a list of people you can actually talk to. This is one of the strongest funnels for anyone who already gets inbound interest on Instagram. SaaS brand, business educators, the agency owners use high intent DM flows to treat DMs like a mini CRM, turning quick question messages into book demos, strategy calls, and high ticket clients over and over again. For brands and agencies already getting regular DMs, this is an S tier funnel. If you're earlier and not yet getting many inbound messages, this is an A-tier system you should still build in advance, so it's ready the moment your other funnels start sending people into your inbox. Funnel 4, mini training DM funnel. The mini training DM funnel is built for offers that need explanation and proof before people feel comfortable buying your courses, certifications, or consulting. Pushing someone from a short reel straight into a high-ticket sales page usually fails. Not because the offer is bad, but because the buyer has not seen the system behind your offer. This funnel adds a short learning experience between content and the pitch. The asset itself is not part of selling. 1 or 2 follow-up messages and then show them how to use the asset and position your main offer as the natural next step for the people who liked the training. Overall, the mini training DM funnel sits at a B tier because you're asking people to consume extra content before they buy. So some ready to buy leads will drop off, and it takes more effort to keep the training asset updated than a simple DM offer flow. It behaves like an S tier funnel specifically for course creators expert-led programs, and complex services, where seeing the system before the pitch will be the difference between ghosted DMs and fully booked enrollments. And for low-ticket impulse products, it's more of an occasional a B-tier tool you pull out for launches or when you need to warm people up. Funnel 5, profile highlights funnel. The profile highlights funnel lives on your profile, not inside of any post. It turns your highlights from a random archive of old stories into a permanent, structured path that visitors can follow in under a minute. Instead of 15 random folders, you treat highlights like sections of a landing page. Number 1, Start Here highlight explains who you help and what outcomes you create. Number 2, results or proof. Highlight where you stack testimonials, reviews, and before and after wins. Number 3 is the offers highlight, where you clearly lay out how people can work with you and what the next step is. DM keyword, application link, booking page, or product collection. This funnel doesn't necessarily bring in new people itself, but it dramatically changes what happens when someone lands on your profile from a reel, a story, a tag, or a DM. Instead of scrolling randomly and bouncing, they can get orientated, see proof, and find a clear next step that you've already defined. In the overall rating, the profile highlights funnel is a C-tier system. It doesn't usually drive new traffic on its own, but it makes every profile visit far more likely to turn into a DM, a click, or a booking, which is not so common. For service businesses, consultants, agencies, and any brand where people check your profile before buying, it functions almost like an S-tier layer. Vista Social helps plan your stories that feed into your highlights, monitor which post drives profile visits, and see how often visits from reels or DMs actually led to taps on your offer's highlight. Funnel 6, structured content-led funnel. The structured content-led funnel is not a single post or DM flow. It's the way you design your entire content strategy so that each piece has its job in the buying journey instead of just another post. At the top, you have awareness content, short reels and highly shareable posts that speak directly to a problem or desire your ideal customer has, without asking for anything in return. Once someone starts paying attention, consideration content takes over. Carousels, breakdowns, and stories explaining how your approach works, why you do things differently, and what your framework or method looks like. And finally, conversion content brings the offer into focus with case studies, offer breakdowns, FAQs, and direct calls to action into your DM funnels or offers. The difference between this and posting consistently is intentional sequencing. You're not just chasing reach, you're designing a path where a new follower can move from first touch to informed buyer by following a logical trail through your reels, grid, and stories. By default, the structure-led content funnel sits in a B tier. It doesn't usually create revenue on its own, but it makes sure your S and A tier funnels never run dry by balancing awareness, education, and conversion content. For multiple platform brands and agencies managing several clients, it moves closer to an A tier because without a structured content system, their DM funnels and launches eventually stall. Vista Social is built for this layer. You can tag each post by funnel stage, use the calendar view to spot gaps like weeks with no conversion content, and use analytics to see which stage in the journey is underperforming so you can fix the right problem instead of just posting more at random. Funnel 7, story interaction funnel. The story interaction funnel uses a bulletin features of stories, polls, questions, quizzes, and emoji sliders to turn a warm audience into actual actions instead of passive views. You run a focused series of 3 to 5 stories around one clear topic, a specific problem, a new offer, a launch, or an opportunity. Each story moves the narrative forward, why this matters now, what the outcome is, and what decision they need to make. At the key point, you either add a link sticker or ask them to vote, tap, or reply in a way that tells you who is interested. The engagement is not just for show. Every poll vote, question box reply, or emoji slide creates a visible list of people you can follow up with via DM in a structured way, which feeds back into the DM me, comment to DM, or DM intent funnels. Overall, the story interaction funnel is a D tier funnel. It doesn't do anything much for discovery. For brands and creators with a strong and warm audience that checks stories daily, e-commerce doing drops, coaches in launch mode, experts with wait lists. It behaves more like a B-tier warm audience activator that can create fast spikes in sales, while for accounts with low store reviews, it should be treated as a secondary B-tier add-on behind your DM first growth funnels. Inside Vista Social, you can plan story sequences across multiple accounts, monitor replies and poll responses in one inbox, and push those engaged story viewers straight into your DM me or high intent funnels without losing track of who engaged where. And last up, the bio link landing page funnel is the classic Instagram setup. Your content tells people to go to the link in your bio, they tap it, land on a page, and that page is expected to turn them into signups or buyers. The structural problem is friction. To convert, a user has to move from the content to your profile, from the profile to a link, and from the link to the page before they even see the offer. A big percentage drops off at every step, which is why DM-based funnels have been shown to convert significantly better. In some cases, around 46% better than sending everyone to link in bio. That doesn't mean this funnel is useless. You still need a strong landing page behind your bio for outcheck flows, complex product descriptions, applications, and detailed sales pages. This mistake is treating this as your main Instagram funnel instead of as the endpoint for higher leverage funnels people send. The mistake is treating this as your main Instagram funnel instead of as the endpoint your higher leverage funnels send people to. As a primary funnel, the bio link landing page is firmly in the D tier. It adds the most friction, loses the highest percentage of people at each step, and consistently underperforms DM-based flows for most brands. It becomes much more valuable as a high-tier infrastructure when you treat it as the endpoint of your better funnels, the place where people go to actually pay, apply, or fill in details once they've already been warmed up to in DMs or stories. Vista Social sits right in the middle of that picture. You can see post by post whether people clicked in the bio link, replied in the DMs, or did nothing, which makes it very obvious when it's time to stop relying on link in bio as your main funnel and lean harder into S tier and A tier DM funnels you've built.